Hey, what is up, guys? It's Brennan here, and today we're going to be breaking down the JP Morgan Chase tax-advantaged IRA accounts. What do they look like? What do I think of them as well? Doing an overall review of both the traditional and Roth IRA, because I do have both of them, and giving my overall opinions and how to get started with Chase and JP Morgan, which is their wealth management division, which is what the tax-advantaged IRAs are branded under. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into things. Getting started doing this review of the tax advantage IRAs that are available with Chase and JP Morgan. Now, first to clarify and of course understand is that Chase does actually own JP Morgan. JP Morgan and Chase are the same company. Now, JP Morgan is specifically Chase's wealth management division, and that is what these tax advantage IRA accounts are branded under. Now, if you don't already know, IRA stands for individual retirement account, and they come in two different ways. Now, you can either do it traditional or you can do it the Roth way. We'll be breaking down the specific differences between the two a little bit in this video as well, just so you can get a good idea as what kind of IRA you actually want to open. Now, I actually do have both, and there are different reasons as to why you may want one or the other. We'll break that down a little bit later in this video. Now, overall, with JP Morgan's tax advantage IRA accounts, it's important to understand that with these JP Morgan individual retirement accounts, these can be a good way to save for retirement with a wide range of different investment options and expert guidance. Again, expert guidance you don't necessarily need. You can also manage this yourself 100%, so you can utilize their tax advantage IRAs under their self-directed accounts. So you don't need an advisor. If you don't want to, you can choose to work with the advisors if you'd like to, but you don't have to. So you can invest on your own. That's one of the options. That's what I personally do. I invest on my own to avoid any kind of retirement account fees and things like that, because I don't want to be paying any kind of management fees. At the end of the day, what you decide to do with your investments inside the account is totally up to you. Again, that is something to understand, is that the accounts in IRA is just the account type. You do need to also choose the investments inside that account, which JP Morgan and Chase do actually have quite a wide variety of different types of investments that you can purchase through these accounts. So do keep that in mind as well. This is just the type of account. You do need to also consider what kind of investing that you want to do. Again, you can either choose to work with their advisors or you can do it on your own. Now, in terms of the basics of their IRA accounts, getting into that, of course, an individual retirement account, as you can see here, is a tax advantage account that can help individuals save for retirement. And two of the most common types are for the IRAs is the traditional and the Roth. Now, essentially the differences between these two, we'll get into that in just a moment, but a little bit later in this video as to why you might want one or the other or both. And so why would you even invest in an IRA in the first place, right? You could ultimately just invest in a regular brokerage account with Chase, JP Morgan. Why choose an IRA? Well, an IRA can be a good way for you to shell away more tax advantage savings for your retirement. So at any different career stages, an IRA is for individuals with taxable compensation who are planning for retirement. And the tax advantages of an IRA, can be a good and smart way to save for your future. What can you invest in with an IRA? Again, that depends on having an account with JP Morgan Chase. Now, theirs are zero commission online trades. That is a newer thing. They have not always had that. Now, they've had that for probably at least the past 5 to 10 years, roughly, with Chase, but that's not necessarily always been the case, but it is $0 commission online trades. So that's, thanks to a lot of the different fintech companies, that's kind of pushed a lot of the traditional banks to offer $0 commission online trades, which is great. So you don't have to pay anything to open the account. You don't have to pay anything to actually start trading and buying and selling stocks, or just buying and holding. So again, depending on what your investment choices are. Now, in terms of the wide range of different investment options, this does include their mutual funds, stocks, and ETFs. ETFs also stands for exchange traded fund. This is essentially very similar to an index fund, right? You can buy an index fund ETF. That's a broad-based index of the top, let's just use the S&P 500 for an example. That would be the top 500 US-based companies that you can purchase as an ETF to diversify your investment. Now, this again is not financial advice. Do what you wish as far as your investment choices, but you can buy, individual stocks. For example, could be you go and buy Apple Apple stock. You could even buy Chase stock if you wanted to with this account. You could go and buy Nvidia stock. You can go and buy Target, Walmart, whatever company that you want. You can easily buy that here within the account, as well as different ETFs. Now, ETFs would include things like the Vanguard S&P 500. This would be V00 is the ticker symbol. If you want to look that up, that's VOO or VOO, right? So it's essentially VOO, or VTI is the total stock market index fund available through Vanguard. That is the fund. Then you can then purchase that through this account here. So if you want an S&P 500, you want total stock market index, you want more, actual broad-based index, that's something you can purchase through here. I just want to explain that as to what you can actually purchase with this account as well. And so you have a lot of different options there in terms of the investment choices, and it's a pretty easy to use system in terms of selecting and buying stocks and trading, right? It's through V00 or VOO. And looking that up. Now, in terms of the different types, right? What kind of account type do you want to necessarily open? You could do one or the other or both with their IRA. So a traditional IRA, the contributions may be tax deductible, and your earnings, if any, are tax deferred, and it will be included in your taxable income at the time of withdrawal. So essentially you're getting a tax deductible potentially. Again, they have little asterisks here. Deductibility, it does depend on your income and things like that. So you need to consult a tax advisor, or maybe look it up online as well, as far as if your income, it changes year to year. So look at the IRS website, see if you are eligible. But essentially, if you go with a traditional IRA, that's typically better if you want to take a tax deduction now, and then that will then be tax deferred, so that that will be included in your taxable income at the time of withdrawal. You can learn more about the specific details in their IRA comparison PDF. They do also have that available here, and I'll leave a link to this in the video description if you do want to read a little bit more about which one might be better for you, because it does kind of depend on a multitude of different factors. And again, these do change year to year. As far as the annual contribution limits that you can make to either one, they're typically the same, but in terms of your actual ability to contribute, does depend on the earned income that you have in the year and if you qualify. So again, read through the IRS website as well, as far as which one might make more sense for you. I have both, because ultimately you can also you can't contribute to the same in the same year, but if you do contribute, maybe from a past employer, if you contribute to a 401k plan and you need to consolidate your money and you want to roll over to a JP Morgan Chase IRA, that can be a great way to fund your contribution, is to roll over some old 401k accounts, maybe with a previous employer that you used to have. You can easily roll those over into Chase, and then you have everything kind of under one umbrella. It makes it a little bit easier for managing your retirement funds and your investments. And then it's good in that way, because a lot of 401k accounts are traditional. So you have to keep that money that you contributed in that traditional sense. You have to keep it in the traditional tax bucket. And then you would roll it into a traditional IRA. On the flip side, if you had maybe a Roth 401k with an employer, you would then need to roll it over into a Roth IRA. So that's a good segue into what is a Roth IRA, right? I do have also a whole separate video going over Roth IRA with JP Morgan Chase. I'll leave that in the comments section below. This is more of a general IRA video going over both options and kind of when it makes sense for you if you're looking at just IRAs in general with Chase and JP Morgan. Now, a Roth IRA, on the other hand, is, you can see here, is that the contributions are not tax deductible. Your earnings, if any, are tax deferred and may be withdrawn tax free if certain conditions are met. So if you're maybe making less money now and you want to contribute some money, that is not tax deductible. So you will still pay taxes on that money up front. You're not getting a tax deductible, like with, essentially with a traditional IRA would lower your overall tax bill. Roth IRA keeps your tax bill the same, but then your earnings, if any, when you come to retirement, would be tax-free. So the Roth IRA, having that tax-free withdrawal and tax-free growth, can be nice at retirement, because you don't have to worry about anything. It's like you already have all that money. It's the taxes have already been paid, essentially, because with the traditional IRA, you're effectively waiting to pay the tax. You're paying the tax later, versus the Roth IRA, you're paying the tax up front. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. Again, I'll leave a link to the comparison chart if you want more information. And there are also contribution limits as to your income and which one you can even qualify for to apply and to actually open and contribute money to. Now, if you do have leftover money from a old employer, you could contribute to either one and roll it in. That's one other way. But if you're brand new, look into which one might be better for you. And which option might make the most sense, especially given the limitations on income. Again, that's kind of a big thing to decide here. Again, you could also open both, but just keep in mind that you can't contribute. It's one or the other per year if you're actually going to max it out. Let's just say you max it out for the annual contribution limit. For this year, you can probably see here if I make that a little bit bigger. If the lesser of the earned income, again, that's $7,000 on traditional IRA or $7,000 on a Roth IRA. Again, for the current year, and that is on either account. So you can't contribute to both. It's one or the other in a given tax year. So do just keep that in mind as well. Now, what other things come along with JP Morgan Chase? What are some of the other benefits of actually utilizing that? Because, Roth IRA, traditional IRA, those are two of the main account options here with their IRAs. What are the other benefits you actually get with opening a JP Morgan Chase account here? So again, you can consolidate eligible 401ks. I already talked about that. That is a huge perk that makes it's really easy also with them to do it, to add your information in, bada boom. I've done it like at least 2-3 times. It's pretty useful. It's a pretty easy setup with them. I will say that is a very easy process. Advisors, I have not actually gone with the personalized advice because I choose to manage it on my own because I don't want to be paying the fees, and I'm just going to invest in something that's like a broad-based index fund. Really don't need some advisory advice on that. It's pretty straightforward. And I imagine many of you guys watching this video are probably in that same boat, or maybe you like to pick your own stocks, right? So that's totally up to you. Same thing with the wealth plan. Again, that kind of goes along with their advisors. If you are going to be using that, that goes along with that too. In terms of the investments, we did already talk about that. They do also actually have options trading, fixed income as well. Those are things. Now, you do actually have to apply for options-based trading. That's not something I've either touched or want to touch at all. Again, feel free to do that at your own risk. You do actually have to apply for it, but it is something you can request on your account as well if that's something that you're interested in. Again, keep in mind the risk that is associated with options trading. In addition to that, again, starting your different investment journey, you can either invest on your own or with their advisors. Again, I've always just done on your own. You do also have their advisory services available if that's something that you're interested in. But that's pretty much the gist of it. Now, depending on when you're watching this video, they may have certain promotions going on. Again, I cannot guarantee that this offer is still going to be available. As you see on screen here, that does depend on when you're making contributions, but usually, they might have some sort of promotion depending on how much money you may roll over or, open and fund an account with. I get that they do have the limitations on things. So like you can't contribute that much over the annual limit. So if you're rolling money in, then maybe that might make sense for you. You might get some extra bonus money. Or if you just contribute the upfront money for maxing it out that year, you might get a small bonus for opening an account. But again, that just depends on your specific goals. Again, how much you need to retire in your account. Again, it's good to contribute to these retirement accounts. At the end of the day, they can help you a lot when it comes to retirement. And overall, in terms of my thoughts and feelings on the JP Morgan Chase traditional and Roth IRAs, again, I do have both. I do like the convenience that it is inside the Chase app. So if I go to my bank account, I already have the investments in there. It does make it a little bit nicer and easier just to manage everything from one app instead of having things strewn across different places. One other nice perk that is not listed here as well is that you can easily transfer money directly from your checking account to the retirement account, and it will be an instant transfer. So the money is available instantly. You can go and buy stocks, go and invest for your retirement instantly right from making that transfer from your checking account. Whereas normally with other banks, if you're transferring across different institutions, it's going to take a day, 3 days, maybe even up to a week sometimes in the worst case, slowest scenarios, to actually get your money ready and available to purchase things. That is a really nice benefit, is just the fact of speed. You transfer it, boom, it's done. You don't have to think about it, right? So if you have some money you want to tuck away for retirement or put into that investment account, it's a very instant transfer. It does make it nice and fast for you, so you can save some time in terms of waiting for transfer. So that is a nice little side perk as well that they don't really mention here as well. Overall, I would recommend them for people. Is it worth it? Yes. Do you necessarily need both? No, not necessarily, unless you do have like a 401k that's maybe some in traditional, some in Roth. Consider which one you might want to contribute to. If you want to save some money up front now, and save on your tax bill, do the traditional IRA. If you're okay with the tax that you pay and you'd rather have that tax-free growth and ultimately not pay taxes when you're going to retire, then and you're okay with paying whatever tax you pay now, then the Roth IRA is probably a better option for you. Again, just look into the income limits because it does vary year to year. As to which one might make the most sense for you. But overall, yeah, I would recommend this account. It is pretty good. I do like utilizing it. And they do also have their regular self-directed accounts as well, which I'll leave a link in the video description if you want to learn more about that. But yeah, overall, pretty decent account. Again, you get started for free. And it's pretty good overall for setting up your retirement and setting yourself up for your future. So guys, hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, then be sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button as well, and notification bell so you're notified whenever I upload a new video. Anyway guys, that's all for today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.